All right, let's see what else do we need to do. Let me switch back to my app.jsx and let's look at the toolbar. I guess at this point, we don't really need this add button because we already have the form populated on our screen, unless we want this to be our show form button, but we can do that later on. I'll remove this button and let's see what do we need to do. Now I need to work on the show done only button. As we click on it, we want to only be able to see items that have been completed. So I'll switch back to the toolbar and let's think about what we need to do here. All right, we'll receive a function from the app and let's call this on done only. And basically we'll make sure that when this is called, that we call this function here on done only. So that means I will implement whatever this function looks like, but we'll do that at the parent component. So let's go ahead and start working on this. Const equals on done only, create this function. And what this function needs to do is to filter out all the items from the tasks that are done, or filter out the ones that are not done. So this means that I need to capture a new variable now, and let's call this filtered tasks. And by default, we'll set this to be whatever the tasks is. So I'll copy that and let's make sure that that's the one that we use in our component. Everything should still be working in the same manner. Nothing has changed so far. Now, next, what we need to do is capture a new state. We'll call this done only, with the function being set done only. This is a use state and the default value would be false. Now, when this done only is set to true, we want this filter task to basically only show us items that are done. So we'll add a filter for each task. We'll do the following. Actually, let me do it this way instead. I'll check if done only is true, then we call filter task, and for each task, we're only gonna get ones that have t done as true. Otherwise, we'll return the tasks as is. Now we can get rid of this line. Right, so let's just read it again. Let me remove this function. Oh, we'll keep this function for now. If done only is true, then we filter in all the ones where t done is true. Otherwise, we show the entire tasks list as is. What we need to do when on done only is called is basically set the done only value to true. Let me actually remove that and we'll pass it on as is to our toolbar. So on done only, here's what we'll need you to do. You'll set done only to the opposite of whatever done only is right now. Probably the better way, or the most correct way to do this, is to capture this as a function. So here's the current, and we'll return the opposite of whatever the current value of this is. We will save, and let's see what happens now. If I toggle this on, we're only seeing the ones that are done. If I click on it again, everything else comes back. Now, let's go ahead and actually make the button changes this value based on the current state. So we'll pass in done only as a property, and we'll pass the value itself. So done only right here. Switch back to my toolbar, and now I have a new value or a new property that I can catch called done only. And what I'll do here is change this value or change this label depending on this value. So we'll come over here and we can actually switch this to a backtick instead. And in that case, I'm able to inject this ternary operator of if done only is true, then show me the text false or off. Otherwise, show me on. Let's see what that looks like now. All right, so right now, show that only on. Okay, that means I actually need to swap this order. Here we go. So by default, it's off. If I toggle it on, the text changes, the list filters, and everything is good right here.